In February 2018, Chicago's winter was biting, but the real chill came when K-Shine touched down at O'Hare. Word had already spread through battle rap circles. The Dot Mob veteran wasn't just here for his scheduled match against Young Cannon. There was blood in the water, and everyone knew it had Cooley Cash's name on it. As a battle rapper, you're always preparing for war, always sharpening your bars to slice through your opponent. In this space, negativity is a constant companion, a necessary tool to channel into performance. But this was different. Cooley Cash wasn't a battle rapper. Cooley had said some things on Instagram, things he shouldn't have said, and K-Shine wasn't the kind of guy to just let words hang in the air. Cooley knew Shine was coming. Guerrilla warfare's ain't no more Midwest movement. The blueprint 2 inches was stacked, A Verb versus Big T, B Magic versus O Red names that usually headline their own events, but in the battle rap underground, whispers weren't about the matches. They were about the storm K-Shine was bringing to Chicago. The Red Diamond venue in Hazel Crest was a nightclub and entertainment venue that stood like a fortress in the cold Chicago air. By 3 p.m., the building was packed wall to wall with Midwest battle rap's most loyal followers. Young Cannon had brought out all of Chicago. His people filled every corner, each one ready to see their hometown hero handle business. Miss Gracie, running point on the event, watched the crowd build with knowing eyes. She'd seen enough battles to recognize when something bigger than bars was brewing. K-Shine's arrival shifted the entire atmosphere. He moved through the venue like a shark through shallow waters, his small crew tight around him. No extra muscle needed. His reputation did the heavy lifting. The whispers followed him, stories of what he did to opponents in their own backyard, reminders of how Dot Mob handled business. It didn't take long to spot Cooley Cash in the crowd, the former Dot Mob member who'd been talking reckless for weeks, making threats and promises he couldn't cash. Now, face to face with the man he disrespected, Cooley's energy changed. "Let's step outside." K-Shine's voice cut through the venue noise like a blade. The history between them hung heavy. Dot Mob wasn't just a crew, it was family, and Cooley had crossed lines you don't cross. Cooley, suddenly finding his backup nowhere in sight, tried to deflect. "I ain't going in the bathroom," he muttered, already backing down. "Then I'll stall you right here," K-Shine replied. And before anyone could blink, his fist connected with Cooley's face. The impact sent him sprawling, Chicago's concrete offering no comfort as he hit the ground. As Cooley lay there, dazed and struggling to make sense of what just happened, K-Shine stood over him, a predator observing fallen prey. With deliberate slowness, he stepped across Cooley's crumpled form, his shadow cutting across the man who dared disrespect his name. Drugs and Prep watched the scene unfold, knowing they were witnessing a moment that would be talked about for years. In that instant, with Cooley on the ground and K-Shine moving past him like he was stepping over trash, the message was clear. Don't play with me. When Young Cannon and K-Shine finally faced off shortly after, the tension was suffocating. The energy from the Cooley incident still lingered in the air. K-Shine approached the stage with the same cold intensity he'd just displayed. And before starting his round, he looked Young Cannon dead in the eyes and said, "I just knocked your man out." Then proceeded to deliver one of the most dominant performances Chicago had ever seen. Chicago crowds were infamous for being merciless to outsiders, but K-Shine's presence now carried extra weight. He'd already shown this wasn't just about bars. His first round hit like artillery fire, each punch landing with surgical precision, the energy from the Cooley incident making every threat feel more real. The crowd's resistance crumbled under the onslaught. You could see it in their eyes. They weren't just watching a battle rapper, they were watching a predator who'd already drawn blood. Drugs and Prep, still processing what they'd witnessed with Cooley, watched K-Shine paint a masterpiece with aggression. This wasn't just performance anymore. The Cooley knockout had turned Young Cannon's home court advantage into a liability. Every time K-Shine mentioned handling business or catching someone outside, the crowd knew it wasn't just talk. By his second round, even the most dedicated Chicago fans couldn't deny what they were witnessing. The third round was academic. K-Shine had secured a clean 30 before it even started. In a twist that spoke volumes about the politics of battle rap, Cooley was later seen in the crowd, smiling and cheering as if the altercation never happened. But everyone knew the footage would live forever, another chapter in K-Shine's growing legend. Miss Gracie, veteran that she was, handled it like the professional she'd always been. In battle rap, sometimes tension had to break. What mattered was what came next, and K-Shine delivered. He stepped up against Big Cannon later that night, still carrying that same menacing energy. The man had just laid out Cooley Cash and bodied young Cannon, yet performed like he was just getting started. The guerrilla warfare event would be remembered for its stacked card, Verb taking on Big T, B Magic facing O-Red, fierce battles up and down the lineup. But what lingered in everyone's memory was how K-Shine had turned Chicago into his own hunting ground. He'd come to the Midwest, knocked out Cooley Cash before his battle, dominated young Cannon immediately after, and left with his reputation not just intact but enhanced. In a culture where respect is earned through both bars and behavior, K-Shine had given a masterclass in both. He'd shown why Dot Mob's name still carried weight, why his own legacy continued to grow, and why sometimes the most dangerous opponents are the ones who can back up every word in the ring or in the streets. Chicago's winter continued long after that February night, but the chill K-Shine left behind lasted even longer. He'd come to the Midwest and left his mark in the battle footage, in the stories, and in the lesson he'd taught about respecting the culture. In the world of hip-hop, where words are weapons, sometimes the biggest battles happen in courtrooms. For 11 years, one man helped build an empire, turning street battles into a multi-million-dollar industry. But while the cameras rolled, the real story was hidden in the fine print. 80 pages, $40 million. One man's claim to the empire he helped create. They said he was just an employee, called his partnership a fantasy, dismissed him as a footnote in their success. Case closed, they tweeted. But sometimes victory comes in silence, when millions of dollars change hands, when empires settle behind closed doors, when giants of the industry suddenly go quiet, the truth speaks louder than words. This is the story of how one tweet became a multi-million-dollar reality, how denial turned to settlement, and how the biggest battle in URL history wasn't fought on stage. Norbs, the architect of battle rap. Sometimes the most expensive bars are written by lawyers.
Hey, it's the Algorithm Institute where the stories are told. From the battle rap culture, speaking facts that we know. It's the Algorithm Institute. Go like and subscribe if you digging the content that we provide. If you listen to us, you ain't hearing no lies. We better than the mother bloggers all combined. It's the Algorithm Institute of battle rap.
Tap in and subscribe so we can keep cooking.
It's the Algorithm Institute of battle rap.
Each subscription is a vote for more quality content, more epic stories, and a stronger community.